Awesome.
And so the other part of this session was supposed to be some like quote unquote vibe coding. And I thought we could maybe quickly go around the room and talk about what we might want to learn or what we might want to build. And Lucas and I both have a huge stack of tools that we could dig into to try to build or teach how a tool works or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you this, John, but I'd just be curious what the tools are that you guys are using and find the most value in as you're going through this process, because I think that there's just so many out there and so many new things popping up. I'm sure some of it is context specific, but like, where do you even start? Like, where do you play? What tools are you using and why?
Um, sure. Do you want me to screen share?
I use Cursor a lot every day.
Yeah. And have you tried other things that are competitors to Cursor, or like what's the rationale, just out of curiosity?
Um, there's this other IDE called Windsurf. I never tried because they basically use the same models behind the scenes. So I don't know I don't know why would I switch. But there's a bunch of other stuff that works in your browser, like V0 or bolt.new, uh, Replit, I think it is, right, John? Uh, how is
Yeah.
pronounced it? But I never had a good experience with those because they tend to be specific for prototyping, for really basic ideas, testing really fast, and because I work on a large project, it's not enough for me. I need to use Cursor. I need to have uh, larger context windows so the model can understand the whole context of my application. So that's why I use Cursor every day. That's the one that it's the best tool for me and for my job.
Yeah. And how much technical skill do you need to use Cursor?
Um, I think to use Cursor, it's good to have a little bit of understanding about basic programming and maybe one or two programming languages. But for example, to use V0 or these other tools that work on your browser, you don't need to know mm, nothing. It's built for everyone to use to basically start to building, start to prototyping their ideas, testing, validating.
Hmm.
Okay, so you guys hear me and you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
David,
Yeah.
do you have any asks or wants related to learning?
No, no, I'm hoping just something will soak in.
Okay, so I have an idea for something that I've wanted to build. And Alec, to your point, I generally think that Cursor is a professional grade tool. Like to use Cursor effectively, you have to have a programming environment set up on your computer, and you need to be more or less comfortable running code on your machine. And so
Okay.
I think that for anybody kind of like starting out, Cursor would probably be a too large of a step. Um, the three sort of tools that are getting a ton of play right now on the internet are V0, Lovable. I mean, Lovable has some crazy funding round, and Cursor has incredible revenue numbers, by the way, right now too. And Replit. Um, Replit is trying to be a, they're all three of them are basically things that we should be able to use and create something. And so I was going to, why don't we try to build this thing that I want to build with, V0, Lovable, or Replit. And I've never used any of these. So the thing that I want to build is I want a web page that just shows like uh, between 10 and 20 posts on LinkedIn, but I want those posts to be like in the last 30 days and only from people that are my contacts from like the last 6 months. Do we think AI could build that? Alec or David, does that make sense what I'm asking to build?
Yes, I believe.
Is it too complex what I'm asking?
I mean, I think it'll tell you if it is, but I don't think so. I mean, yeah.
Um,
I don't have a framework for it being too complex or not. So my default right now is I would definitely try. How about that?
okay. So then my instinct is to use Replit because I think that it's a more complete environment. So I'm just going to try to sign. And I think that because I'm an engineer and I've had a little bit of exposure. Okay, so let's do the opposite of what I think I should do. Let's use Lovable because it's lovable. Sign up. Sign up with GitHub. We'll do hello at. Can you guys see my screen okay? Oh, look, and it showed off my password to the world. Please don't copy and paste that. I'll have to change my Lovable. New viewer window. Hello at. I'm just clicking whatever's in the center of the screen. Okay, please build me a site that can look at LinkedIn and displays 10 to 20 posts. Those posts need to be from only my contacts and contacts who I made in the last 6 months. The post, if I click on it, should open in LinkedIn so that I can like or comment on it. That makes sense? I just want to see what people I'm connected to are talking about, which I think might actually be a violation of LinkedIn's terms. So I probably won't post this on LinkedIn. Um, anyone can view and remix. I don't know what I'm going to get here. Spinning up preview. I can give you my LinkedIn client ID and secret. I don't know if it'll ask me for that. I don't even know what it's going to give me back. This feels slower, Lucas, than our natural professional tooling.
Yeah, maybe because
It's a
you
free
are,
plan. I'm not paying for it.
yeah.
So while Lovable is doing whatever it's doing, I'm going to go into my own environment and I'm going to get init in here and I'm going to run a command line driven programming tool that I like to use called Aider. I'm not going to upgrade. Uh, I'm going to add see, these are questions that like developers would generally know. So I'm just going to paste this in and I'm going to say use Ruby and assume, I don't know why it's got, oh, there we go. And assume that I have a, should we use Node this time, Lucas?
I don't know. We can use. I think it's irrelevant.
Use any toolkit you want and assume that I have a LinkedIn client ID and secret that I can, sorry, the monitor is right there, that I can write into an env file. Okay, so I just got a notification. So Aider is doing work in the background. I got, I think, a notification that Lovable came back. This is interesting. Refresh, sign in, publish. Are these people my connections? Jennifer Lee, 5 days ago, Lisa Thompson, David Wilson. I don't know if these are my,
I'm pretty sure this is mocked data because you didn't provide any information about your LinkedIn to them.
how does it know?
Yeah, look at the last line. It says, for the LinkedIn integration, you likely need a backend functionality.
It says I've created a LinkedIn connection feed that shows posts from your recent connections with the ability to filter by connections made in the last 6 months. Um, these, the posts that it's opening definitely don't make any sense. It's trying to create new articles. I don't know if these people are my connections either. And it didn't ask me for any information about like getting live information from LinkedIn. So this is all very interesting. And I would also say, Alec, that we've very rapidly drifted from sort of regular non-professional programmer land pretty quickly into professional programmer land, like figuring out what it's actually doing and whether or not it's it's working correctly. So I'm just want to check real quick
What is
if
that last line that Lucas just pointed out where it said something about Supabase?
yeah, so it says for LinkedIn integration, you likely need backend functionality, including potentially saving API keys, right? Supabase is a simple way to add these features without complex technical setup, which is like, there's nothing about hybrid databases that is simple without complex technical setup. But, you know, that's the promise of all this stuff. Um, I just want to check if Sarah Johnson is actually a LinkedIn connection. I don't remember. Yeah, so it feels like I don't have any connect. Like if I had a first degree connection, it would be found. So I'm going to say the Lovable app is not very good. Let's see if Aider did a better job. I'm going to say create the new file. Yes. 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 So I'm gonna I have a little pop-ups that make it hard to read. Login. Yes. Yes. Style.
What are all these prompts you're saying yes to?
It's Aider is asking me to create files locally. And it's asking me to run commands, which in my experience, it does not do a particularly good job of running, but I'm running anyways. I'm just letting Aider do what it wants to do. Which, if you look at this and you're like, I don't fully understand it, I would agree with you. Sometimes I don't fully understand Aider either. So command output is just like what comes into the console. It's asking if it can look at that. Now I'm going to run the shell command app.py. So it decided to use Python, and now it's running a server, and it tells me that it's running the server. This is professional web development junk for, hey, this is where the server is running. Oh, interesting. Sign in with LinkedIn. The passed in client ID is invalid. So I am going to, I'm not going to, yeah, I'm going to, so I need to enter in my credentials, and I'm going to do that here. Lucas, do you have those? Can you send them to me in Slack?
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm doing these off camera because these are like real identifying things that I don't want to have to take out of the video.
Just a second.
1, 2, 3. That was more than just a second.
Okay, give me 10 seconds.
10 seconds. What is
The
that? Is that
client
the ID or is that the secret?
That's the
ID?
client ID.
Okay.
And now the secret.
I'm just doing this in Slack off camera. Is there a space at the end?
Let me check. Nope.
Okay. Flask secret. 1, 2, 3. Foo. Okay, so I'm going to go back and check that. Hold on a second. So here we are. I gave the system my where is sorry. Oh my God, look at the life of a developer. So many windows to sift through. So here, I'm just gonna, the server should be turned off. Yeah, so I'm just gonna run it again, which was, what command did I run it with? Python app.py. And so I've given the server correct credentials, and it should, why don't we think that is running? Any thoughts, Lucas? Or bid in,
Maybe
try again.
was Ada trying to was
Is it
running
running in
through a
two places?
maybe was because
What's
you have
that? Oh,
It's just like localhost 5000, right? Yeah, there we go. So now I should be able to, oh, I need a tunnel, right? Because we don't have a registered callback.
Yeah. Or you need to specify localhost as your redirect URI.
This is getting way too complex for a group call. David or Alec, are you learning anything?
I'm learning that my knowledge of what you were doing is limited, but that's
I love watching people
Uh,
work, so I'm fascinated. Like the
uh,
frustrations and the trouble.
so what callback URL should I register with LinkedIn? Okay, so we'll try what Lucas said. And I'm going to go to LinkedIn Developer Console. Usually,
You can do it.
platforms don't allow for for localhost. All right, apparently LinkedIn might. Right,
It's a
I hope I
different
didn't break.
error.
Yeah,
That that's some progress.
it's not real serious progress though. What if I, all right, so I would say we're basically stuck.
Based on my experience, I think V0 might give us a better experience, at least, because at least V0 tries to connect to the API.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw from Lovable is that they are more focused on the UI of an application.
So then let's go here. Where was my original prompt? What was my original prompt? No, what my original prompt? So I can't go back that far. Let's go to Lovable and see if it will just show me my original prompt. This JD's Lovable. Where's the contact connect radar?
Yeah.
Here, we'll just go like this and copy the prompt. B0. Is it like disorienting watching me navigate all these windows? It feels disorienting. Uh,
I've tried uh, V0, Replit. I don't know if that's the correct way to pronounce. I've tried Bolt, And V0 for me it's the best one from of at least from this AIs that run in the browser, in not like IDEs like Ada or Cursor.
Sure. Let's tell Ader. Oh, look, this is weird. It like created the exact same mockups as Lovable. How is that possible? Mock data. It literally like came up with the exact same people. Sarah Johnson, Michael Chen, Priya Patel. These are kind of like people I even know, I want to say. But I don't know why. I feel like I was connected to some of these people, but then they didn't show up as maybe they're publishing things. And you add app.py. So I think I can add app.py. Now check.
I think there's a 2 missing after whatever you posted with 30 in it, based
Hmm.
on what you highlighted.
The
You left out
HTTP
the
status.
last digit on what you highlighted.
Oh yeah, the status code.
It's okay. It'll figure it out, I think. So this is improving the authorization with LinkedIn. So I'm just gonna let it do that. And then no. I'm gonna start this and restart it. See if it works better this time. Okay, so here's the V0 version. Connect with LinkedIn, sign in with LinkedIn. So again, it just sort of gives me the sensation of the app. It doesn't actually build it, which is not very useful or encouraging. Let's see if this one will actually sign into LinkedIn. No. Boom. All right. So okay, important note. This is a demonstration prototype. In a real implementation, you would need LinkedIn API integration, OAuth authentication, data storage. So I don't really understand why it doesn't make it for real. So
There's
why
even a
don't,
suggestion, a button there to add
Oh,
where?
real
yeah.
LinkedIn API. You see right on top of, yeah, you have your mouse on top of it
Yeah.
to the right.
Add real LinkedIn API integration.
Yeah. Uh,
Interesting. So it wants me to join their, oh, I gotta create a Vercel account. All right. I don't know if I want to take this any farther just because we're like an hour into this session and we're not really producing any results. Um, I think that Lucas, we should try to rebuild this one correctly because I think I don't know. I think it's an interesting product. Ader doesn't seem to have figured it out. Um, I
We
don't
can try
know.
with cursor and
I
record
don't know. I
it.
don't know if I want to keep everybody in session. Like David and Alec, we've been in here an hour. I could easily break and come back to this another week. I don't know if you want to see us keep going or we could take a break or you tell us.
I'm gonna have to hop soon.
Yeah, we can do
So
another
I mean,
time.
you guys can
Yeah.
keep going if you want. I'll just, drop off wherever you are, and no worries if it's unfinished, or
Yeah.
we
No,
can.
I think we should close this session out and be like, look, we tried these tools. They didn't necessarily work. They tried to sort of satisfy my ask. They were moving in the right direction. And AI-driven coding to build real things is super hard. We are getting better at it every time we do it, but even as professionals, it can be like um, we have Lucas and I have made things in other sessions that worked out a little bit better, um, where we go like slower and we tell the AI to do more intermediate level steps that all add to a goal rather than being like, here's the goal, just do it. Where I'd like, hey, do step one, do step two, do step three. Now do step one and step two and step three all work together.
Hmm,
Um,
interesting.
yeah.
Does that give
Uh,
you like? Do you have? Do you? There's just so much on Twitter or whatever about people producing these things using AI. Like, do you look at some of those with skepticism that like a lot of them are probably just unusable prototypes like we just created? Or do you think that there are people who are building real applications?
I think there are definitely people building real applications. Let's see if I can,
Maybe I should qualify it as
let's
like non-technical people building real applications.
let's see if auto ticket works.
I think there
Um,
are specific use cases that, for example, V0, it's really good, like building landing pages.
Hmm.
Or I remember I saw people building games in the browser, and I noticed that to build games in the browser, if I remember correctly, it was V0. It was specifically really good. So it seemed like the V0 team, they sort of adapt the tool to be better on some specific apps, so people can, with basic prompts, they can build the uh, really amazing apps. But it's not general. It's not does not translate to everything.
Hmm.
so this is a, oh, hold on a second, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a thing Lucas and I built a few weeks ago using my command line driven tool, and it worked pretty well. It pays attention to Slack channels, and um, when a certain kind of Slack channel is posted, it files a GitHub ticket. And this worked pretty much as we specified it, and it was simpler. And so to answer your question, Alec, I think that for sure there are good things being made by lots of people. Um, I don't think that a lot of people who don't know anything about internet programming are showing up to tools like V0 and whatever, Lovable, and making things that do a lot of stuff. But I think that if you put a little bit of time into it, people are learning relatively quickly how to get deployable things running.
Yeah, interesting.
I haven't personally seen anything like like yes, there are all these statements on internet like Twitter and LinkedIn of people building things. A lot of them are either professional product designers or engineers. I don't know any actually fully non-technical people in real life who have been like, hey, John, I made this thing. Would you like to look at it? Like I have yet to see that where like most of the people I know are generally professionals, product designer, engineering, and they're using AI programming tools like very effectively. Like we could be, and we do use AI programming tools on professional projects all the time, but we might be asking AIs to do really small things like, hey, fix this bug or build a button or something. We don't just ask it to build a whole system at once.